looking at the greatest volume striker to ever step into the octagon.
Max Holloway is a real fucking warrior to the core. He is so well conditioned and so aware of his ability. The way he fights, the octagon IQ that he shows, his ability to find a weakness and to see it, his predatory behavior inside the octagon, he's the baddest motherfucker.
We are talking about a guy that has long been considered one of the best boxers in the UFC. A guy that has grown up in front of the fans of the UFC as an absolute star, a longtime featherweight champion.
He's one of the all-time greats. He's one of the best ever.
I want to be remembered one of the greatest. I want to be a legend, and I want gold belts around my waist one day.
Max Holloway. The man has fought some of the very, very best. He's one of the best featherweights we've ever seen.
You're talking about fights against the greatest fighters of this era, a consistently high-level entertainment.
But the crazy thing is, he started his journey completely starstruck, getting submitted in his very first UFC appearance.
Thank the Lord had that fight because I needed that fight to open my eyes. I think these ups and downs is what it's meant to be. This is how you become the greatest of all time.
Max Holloway's rise to become the undisputed king of the featherweights is one of the most ruthless, inspiring roller coasters in mixed martial arts history. From dismantling the legendary Jose Aldo in his own backyard to teaching his opponents how to box mid-fight against the cage, Holloway redefined the absolute limits of championship greatness. But to truly understand how a kid from Hawaii built a legendary empire, we have to go back to where it all began.
My mom was a heavy drug addict. My dad would always beat up my mom. I think so that her drugs was like her medicine, like would calm her stress, but that's why she noticed that she put our lives in front of hers and gave us to our grandma. Didn't give up on us, so like that pushed me more not to give up anything. Shouldn't even give up. Like, what is that? Like that, if you give up, you certified a loser. If you try, you at least win in your book. My dad was like, I don't even remember him being in my life. He was like maybe in and out my life. The last time I saw my dad was when I was like 10, 11 years old, and I'll see him after that. I still pray for him, but like, he has no use in my life anymore.
On the Big Island, one person dies every 11 days from a drug overdose, most from fentanyl, and a growing number of victims are teenagers.
This is the house I grew up in.
This is what Maxie Baby started at?
Yep.
You ever scrapped on this corner? What are street fights happen?
I would fight with all my friends on the road. We'd fight all on this road. Go YouTube Hawaii fights. Like they fight, after they're done, they shake hands, go on their way, and if they end up fighting again, they end up fighting again.
You know, and you're also talking about a warrior culture, right? Polynesians. So you have like this very intense love and when they talk about the aloha spirit, generosity, they have like this, and then they're very powerful people as well.
No amateur wrestling pedigree, no childhood dojo, Max Holloway walked into a 10th grade kickboxing class with zero fighting background, and 3 days later, a friend's opponent pulled out of a fight. The coach turned to Max. He said yes, not out of destiny, but out of economics.
Did you start with MMA?
No, I started kickboxing. I trained for 3 days, and then on the second day, I went there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days. So Wednesday I went train, Thursday I show up. They told me, oh, my friend was fighting on Saturday. He's telling me, Max, the coach told us, Max, someone dropped out. You want to fight on Saturday? You gotta weigh 135. I was like, bet. I was like, I'll fight, because I was gonna go. I would have to ask but my story was I had to ask my grandma for $35 to get into the fight. Towards my friend kickbox, but I was like, I get to fight and I get for free. I get it for free? Like, yeah, this is bet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get it for free. I don't have to ask them for $35. I wasn't 18, I was only 16, so I had to get approval from her. Like, she had to like tell the coach that I could do it.
He got kicked in the face 3 times. His nose swelled to triple its size. He lost the exchanges, but he never quit the fight. None. Just a bloody nose and a bruised ego, the cheapest tuition a future champion ever paid.
My first fight, I got kicked in the face like 3 times. So how big my nose looking, this thing is like 3 times bigger. It looked like yours, Arrow. It was terrible.
Wow.
It was terrible.
Wow.
And I remember looking in the mirror being like, oh my gosh, my nose is huge. But I remember thinking like, this was fun. Like, I need to do this again. 2 years later, that's when BJ Penn was the BJ Penn era in the UFC.
Yeah.
BJ was fighting George. BJ went on that 55 streak. And then I saw how much he made after one of his fights. It's like 30K. I was like, this is done. I was telling everybody when I was graduating, I was like, I'm gonna be a UFC champion. I told them I'm gonna be a UFC fighter. I'm gonna be a UFC fighter 100%.
3 professional fights in, and somebody decided the teenager was ready for a lightweight title fight against Harris Sarmiento, a grizzled veteran of nearly 50 bouts.
Well, if Max Holloway is the young gun, Harris Sarmiento is one of those old dogs.
So you know what those guys all have in common?
They fought Harris?
They fought Harris.
A veteran of close to 60 professional fights. He's 38 and 20. He has certainly been through the wars.
What do you think about a Harris Sarmiento?
Real tough fighter. I saw him fight a couple times. I got to train with him sometimes too, on occasions when I was younger. But this, I don't know. I don't really think he got any advantage. Maybe he been in there more than me, but I think like I wouldn't be in this fight if me and my trainer, Colin McKenzie, don't think we was ready. So I just think anybody can say anything, but as soon as we get in there, it's only gonna be me and him. So yeah, to be honest, I think I'm more than ready for this fight. I've been training real hard. My amateur days, nobody really talk about my amateur days, but my amateur days, I was fighting the top guys. All the guys who thought they was top.
On paper, this wasn't a fight, this was a sacrifice. Holloway didn't just survive, he grinded through a war and walked out with the X1 World Lightweight Championship strapped around his waist. The only controversy was how a teenager was allowed in there at all. At 19, Max Holloway was already the biggest name on Hawaii's regional scene. The doubt that was supposed to break him became the first brick in his legend.
Has come to the place that will wrestle the 155 world title belt away.
19. And also, tell everybody how many professional MMA fights have you had?
This is my third one.
Third fight, 19 years old, X1 world champion.
Wasn't surprised at all. I was preparing for a war. And I just think if you like be the best, you gotta beat the best. And it's just what you gotta do, baby.
Instead of coasting on his new belt, Holloway kept testing himself across the regional circuit, this time against Eddie Recon, and this time his body betrayed him. 2 weeks of strep throat left him depleted before he even touched gloves. He fought through it anyway, grinding out his 4th straight professional win while operating at a fraction of his real output. Nothing outside the cage, the only battle was the one happening inside Holloway's own body.
I saw him buck a little bit, and I just heard my corner saying, he's done. So I went in for the kill, and sure enough, got the TKO.
TKO in the first round! Max
UFC matchmakers were watching. A kid who fights championship rounds with strep throat is a kid who doesn't know how to lose. That gets you noticed fast. UFC calls with an offer. Face rising featherweight powerhouse Dustin Poirier on 1 month's notice. He said yes.
January 4th, I was at the hospital. And my son was, I was waiting on the arrival of my son. I remember exact times, 10:03 a.m. I get my phone rang and be like, hey, check your email. So I go check my email, and it's a UFC contract. to fight Poirier for February 4th.
Wow.
First, I hang up the phone. First person I call, my older brother. And he knew I was there for my son, so for my son that was being born. And he picks up the phone. He's like, oh, he's like, what's up, Max? I was like, what? Is my nephew here? I got, no. Guess who you talking to? He's like, who I'm talking to? I was like, you're talking to a UFC fighter.
You're the youngest fighter in the UFC. Did that ever enter in your mind? Talk a little bit about your opponent that you're going to be facing now. He's I believe ranked number 5 in the world. He's 3-0 in the UFC.
Dustin Poirier. What's going on, man? Not too much, man. Just getting ready to take off.
They said, oh, you can either fight a stand-up guy or a jiu-jitsu guy. I was like, do you know who you're talking to? I don't want to fight a jiu-jitsu guy. I'll fight the stand-up guy, not knowing Dustin Poirier was a badass jiu-jitsu guy too.
He's an unpredictable striker. Lots of crazy, explosive, spinning back elbows, and just stuff you guys get caught with. They don't see coming.
To be the best, you gotta beat the best, and that's what I plan to do come February 4th.
He's a fast-paced fighter, good cardio. Likes to walk forward and throw a lot of punches. But so do I. So.
Holloway came out at 200 miles an hour, landed clean shots, and then Poirier timed a takedown, worked into a bizarre triangle armbar hybrid, and sheen.
Thank the Lord had that fight because I needed that fight to open my eyes. I think these ups and downs is what it's meant to be. This is how you become the greatest of all time.
Holloway needed to prove the Poirier fight was a fluke, not a ceiling.
Now I get to be on the main card against Pat Schilling, a guy not to sleep on. Should be a good fight. Gonna be fireworks this Friday. He's 5-1 for a reason. He's in the UFC for a reason, Can't sleep on nobody in the UFC. This fight, my emotions is like kind of together. My last fight, my emotions all over the place.
Did you make any changes as far as your training or how you approached it based on what you learned in that first fight?
Yes. I put a little more time on the mat with my wrestling and jiu-jitsu. It's kind of a wake-up call for me, but I just did a little bit more jiu-jitsu and wrestling for this one.
He neutralized Pat Schilling's college wrestling with airtight takedown defense for a clean decision, then broke down kickboxer Justin Lawrence with relentless volume, closing the show with a body shot.
I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy here and beat records, Tito got the most fights in UFC. I want to beat that record,
None just 2 statement wins back-to-back. The blueprint was forming. Volume wasn't just a style for Holloway anymore. It was becoming a weapon. Short notice against brawler Leonard Garcia.
Leonard Garcia he's a brawler. He's from a good camp, Greg Jackson, and one of his main training partners is Cowboy Cerrone. So, not a joke at all. He comes to fight. That's what I love. He comes to fight. Doesn't like doing that wrestling stuff. He likes standing and banging. So looking forward to this fight. I'm a striker myself, and I found out 10 days notice, I believe. Those 10 days, his former opponent was Cody McKenzie, and on Twitter they announced that he got injured. So when I saw he got injured, I was hoping and praying that I'd get the call to get the fight against Leonard, because that's a name that you can't pass, and I did. So. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus.
Against Garcia, Holloway outstruck and out-wrestled him for a narrow split decision.
You think you decisively won that fight?
Yes, I really do, because the takedown in the second round he really didn't hold me down. I popped back up, but it is what it is. They said don't leave it in the judges, and all glory to Jesus Christ. Thank you, my Lord and Savior, for leading me down this path, and I feel truly blessed.
Then a step up against relentless wrestler Dennis Bermudez at UFC 160.
He's taking on Dennis Bermudez this Saturday night at UFC 160. Talk about the matchup. Obviously, a pretty cut and dry one, I would say. A guy who wants to come in there and wrestle you, and you want to be standing against him.
That's pretty much that's what I think. But a lot of people think he's gonna, since his fight with Matt Grice, he's gonna go in there and try to stand with me. So we see come Saturday night. Every time I step in there, I feel more and more comfortable, You can see from my Poirier fight all the way to now how comfortable I got fighting. So I feel super comfortable. That Poirier fight, I went like 200 miles per hour. And then that Pat Schilling fight, I really slowed it down and kind of found my pace. So, ever since that, after the Poirier fight, I kind of found my pace and found my where I am in the UFC.
Against Bermudez, Holloway dominated the striking exchanges and stuffed takedown after takedown for 2 rounds. The judges gave Bermudez the split decision anyway, To this day, fans and media call it one of the worst robberies of the era. Holloway didn't get the win, but he got something more valuable proof that he could outstrike anyone the promotion put in front of him. The scorecards lied. The tape didn't. 21 years old, and Holloway is thrown into the people's main event against a rocket ship named Conor McGregor. McGregor controlled range early. In round 2, a Holloway half-guard sweep tore McGregor's ACL, forcing the Irishman to grind out the rest of the fight on the mat for a unanimous decision. No scandal, just a young fighter running into a superstar on the rise at exactly the wrong time. This loss cut deeper than Poirier. Holloway realized his self-taught.
In that fight, the funny moment was he took me down, I was on, and then I had him in half guard, and he was passing, and I had like his ankle. And right when he had passed, I like hit, and like that's how he hurt his knee in the fight. He hurt his knee, and he screamed, he went, ah! Like a hurtful scream. So So I'm like in there, I'm on the bottom holding him. I was like, oh, you okay? He's like, yeah, keep fighting, mate. Keep fighting.
Video game-inspired striking had a ceiling.
My friend at the time, Dustin Poirier, he would kind of hold mids for me, and I would be like, look, I tried this in the game and it was working, let's try it. And we did it. I figured it out from freaking UFC, the regular UFC game, the first ever UFC game.
What?
Yeah, with Hidden Brawl.
You would watch the video game?
I would play the video game and be like, oh, look at this. I would try combination. I'd be like, oh yeah, this kind of works, so let's try it.
So he did something most prodigies refuse to do. He hired a coach and admitted he wasn't finished learning.
I never had a striking coach for Dustin, then we went on 4 and then we went on 2. So whatever the 1, 5, 6, 7. My first 7 fights in the UFC.
Think about that for a second. A kid with real natural gifts, already a UFC regular, looked in the mirror after a decision loss and decided the problem wasn't the opponent, it was him.
Those 2 fights really meant a lot at that time in my career because it just made me like realize like how much I really gotta buckle down.
That single decision is the hinge the entire rest of this story swings on. New coach, new tools. Time to find out if it actually worked. Holloway solved a massive reach disadvantage against 6'4" Will Chope, then choked out dangerous striker Andre Fili with a high elbow guillotine at UFC 172. None the tape spoke for itself. This was fight 1 and 2 of a streak nobody saw coming. The pieces of Blessed were finally locking into place. Holloway refused to slow down, stacking fights at a pace most fighters wouldn't dare attempt. He finished Clay Collard, then dragged Akira Corassani into a phone booth war and dropped him with a counter-strike for a first-round TKO. None, just a fighter climbing the rankings on pure volume. Holloway cracked the featherweight top 15. The kid who once got kicked in the face 3 times in his amateur debut was now a legitimate threat to the division. Riding a 5-fight streak, the number 9 ranked Holloway stepped up in class against division legend Cub Swanson.
Holloway, and he was on like a 9-fight win streak. He was on a roll, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. He's a stand-up guy. I've always done good against taller strikers. Cool.
Holloway dismantled him everywhere, snapping his head back with jabs, breaking his jaw with a counter hook, and closing the show with a submission. Non-total, undisputed domination.
He comes out and he fights me a completely different style than I had watched him tape. And I'm kind of like watching him, and he's just firing off and running, and I'm just blocking, trying to figure him out. Follow up with a hook, and I miss, and he counters me, catches me right in the jaw and breaks my jaw.
This wasn't a prospect beating a gatekeeper anymore. This was an elite contender arriving in real time. The first Hawaiian to headline a UFC card since BJ Penn stepped in against a future lightweight champion, Charles Oliveira. Holloway stuffed an early takedown attempt, and in the scramble, Oliveira suffered a severe micro tear to his own esophagus, ending the fight on the spot. One of the strangest finishes finishes in UFC history. No knockout, no submission, just a freak injury that handed Holloway the win. Bizarre or not, a win is a win, and Holloway's win column kept growing with no end in sight.
I feel bad for the guy, I feel bad for the guy. I thought he was injured, and when he said he was injured, I felt bad, it's the only way we get our money, and stuff.
Holloway steamrolled the division's hardest hitter Jeremy Stephens for win number 8. Still no title shot, so he signed to fight Ricardo Lamas at UFC 199 instead. Cleanly ahead on the cards in the final round, Lamas gestured for a stand and bang. Holloway didn't hesitate, he pointed straight at the center of the cage. Both men stood completely still, trading full power hooks until the final bell. None, just two fighters choosing violence over safety, live on pay-per-view. This is the moment the BMF legend started writing itself. Years before the title existed, Holloway didn't need to fight like that. He wanted to.
All the rounds, and you do your signature. Now, is that just like, it's your thing, and you're just like, I'm mad now, we're gonna fight? Or you're like, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to see if you can knock me out. Come on, show me what you got.
With Ricardo Lamas, it was more of an angry thing. And like, he did this 3 times. He went like this one time, and I was thinking like, what are you doing? Like, now you want to fight? You know what I mean? I was thinking like, what? Now you want to fight? What's going on? And then the second time, he said something to me, and I was like, come on, this can't be real life. I'm thinking like, bro, I'm up. And this guy wasn't fighting this, like, he wasn't acting like this in the second or first round, you know? And then the third time when he went like, come on, I was like, brother, oh my gosh, whatever. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to stay here then. Let's go.
When we look at Max, he's not old, but he has a lot of fight in UFC. But how old? 28, 29? Something so, like this. Yeah. And I think his prime time is coming. He's not come yet. I think maybe this year or maybe next year is gonna be his prime time. I believe he has potential, be more great fighter than he was a couple days ago.
Yeah. 9 fights unbeaten and still no title shot until a Daniel Cormier injury bumped Holloway into a main event against former lightweight champion Anthony Pettis for the interim belt.
We have some breaking news. Max Holloway will fight Anthony Pettis for the interim featherweight title.
Cormier falls at the press conference on his back. He was hurt. He hurt his leg. He had to go home. It swelled up. He had to ice it, So he iced his leg, and he called me maybe about midnight, 1 in the morning, and said, I'm okay. I feel good. I iced my leg, and I think I'm going to be okay. I was worried about his back.
And it seems you had a bit of an accident this morning, correct? You hurt yourself?
I hurt myself this morning bad.
Pettis missed weight, meaning only Holloway could leave with gold.
The winner of that interim featherweight title fight will unify the belts with Jose Aldo.
Very important fight for you, but unfortunately, you missed weight. What that means is, if Max Holloway wins this fight, he wins the interim title, but if you win the fight, you do not win the title. What does that mean to you?
I ain't here for interim belts. I was for that real belt. I missed weight. Shit happens. Tomorrow night, business as usual.
Anthony Pettis has gone through some tough times, and he's had some hard losses. But at the end of the day, he is one of the best fighters in the sport of mixed martial arts.
December 10th, I'm going to go out there and remind everybody who Anthony Showtime Pettis is.
I believe that Max Holloway, if he continues to go down the road he's going right now, could easily be considered as an all-time great.
He didn't blink, spinning back kick and a roundhouse to the body before finishing him against the cage.
I don't finish guys early, everybody's like, oh, go in there, get a first round finish. That's just not what I do, and I like to take people in deep waters. I like to let them think that they can compete with me, and then all my finishes is later in the rounds, and I already knew, Once I saw him miss weight, I was like, it's gonna be a long night, my friend, and it sure was.
The scale drama overshadowed fight week, but nothing controversial happened once the cage door shut. 9 years after that amateur debut with the swollen nose, Max Holloway was a UFC champion.
This is a huge victory for you, Max. You are now on a 10-fight win streak. What does this title mean to you? What does the interim title mean?
Hey, shout out to Anthony Pettis, man. Make some noise for this guy. Right here. He's a badass. Nothing but respect for his camp.
and him. And now this is just my ticket to Jose Waldo. Hashtag where's Jose Waldo? Let me know when you guys find him. I'll be waiting.
Holloway traveled into enemy territory Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to face the featherweight GOAT, undisputed champion Jose Aldo.
Time to just prove to the world I'm the best to ever do it.
Acho que a mensagem que eu deixo, pode ter certeza que o Aldo vai vir muito agressivo. Onde a luta estiver caindo, eu vou estar vencendo, eu vou estar batendo. Pode ter certeza que a vitória é nossa.
Max Holloway will finally get his shot at the UFC featherweight title when he competes against Jose Aldo.
What better way to become a king is to go to another king's village and tell him, this is mine.
Aldo won the early rounds on counters.
Hard to recall the last time Max Holloway lost a round.
Holloway lowered his hands, taunted him, and forced a pace that slowly drowned the legend. By the finish, Aldo had nothing left. None a clean, undeniable passing of the torch. The interim title was gone. In its place, the real one. Holloway was undisputed featherweight champion of the world.
Max Holloway is the undisputed UFC featherweight champion. Hawaii, stand up.
This is one of my favorite moments.
What I saw was a spider slowly spinning a web, and it wasn't that big in the first round. Spinning the web in the second round, and it was bigger, and you could now not unsee it, but it wasn't enough to catch prey. But by the third round, it was way too big. It was way too big, and the fly, or whatever, the bug analogy you want to use, got caught in it. That's how I look at it, to me, is that one insect was over there doing what it was doing, and the other one was just slowly spinning this web. And by the time the third round came around, he had it was dead to right.
Frankie Edgar pulled out of UFC 218, and Aldo stepped back in for immediate revenge. Aldo threw bombs early. Holloway absorbed them, taunted him to keep coming, and turned the fight into a sprint.
Better and kept getting better. I'm like, where's the ceiling on this guy? And then you saw in the Aldo fight, when he beat Aldo the first time, and then the second time. And the second time, you're like, Jesus Christ. Like, you really don't know how good a guy is. Like, you see them in a fight, and you go, wow, he's really good. But then you don't see him for a while, and you're like, is he better? Has he slipped? Is he training hard? Like, where is he at? Like, you don't know until you see him again.
Aldo couldn't finish. By round 3, Max was yelling to his corner that Aldo was spent, then closed the show almost identically to fight 1.
When I saw him in that second Aldo fight, I'm like, Jesus, he's so much better than he was before. Yeah. He yelled at the end of the first round. He looked over at us and he goes, the man's tired! Like at the end of the first round, I was like, Jesus. That's awesome. And Aldo was throwing bricks at him. He was really throwing hard in that first round.
None just confirmation. This wasn't a fluke. This was a changing of eras. 2 fights, 2 finishes, 1 unmistakable message: the champion wasn't going anywhere.
Max Holloway, once again, third round TKO is almost identical to the first fight. I mean, what can you say about this guy? 12 wins in a row. Now he's the only guy to ever beat Aldo twice. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Incredible. The way he fought tonight, the way he walked him down, tried to break him mentally and physically, was incredible. I mean, he looked like a stud tonight and was willing to put himself in harm's way. He got hit with some big shots that he didn't need to get hit with either, just to prove that he could walk through them. It was badass.
After several cancellations, Holloway finally defended his belt at UFC 231 against undefeated submission ace Brian Ortega. Holloway completely bypassed Ortega's jiu-jitsu with a pure boxing clinic, setting records for significant strikes landed in a single fight at one point, literally holding Ortega's hands to show him how to block.
The Ortega thing, when you grab the hand and kind of teach him how to block.
Yeah, I was just telling him, brother, I don't know who your coach is, but this is where he belongs. And then I threw a punch. I was like, see?
Alex, do you not know that? Bro. There's a moment where Max grabs his hand and places it here, and he's like, leave it there so I don't keep punching you in the side of your head.
None. This was simply the most one-sided beating a champion has ever handed out in a title fight.
I was blown away. I wanted them to stop that fight going into the 5th round. I was hoping that either the referee or the corner was going to stop that fight.
This is peak volume striking Holloway.
Honestly, listen, Max is a grown man and we need to talk, but I'd like to see Max go to 55 now.
The fight that made Blessed a household name outside the hardcore fan base.
Anyone else? Step forward. Let's go!
It's one thing to outstrike a striker, it's another thing entirely to face a killer with a black belt in jiu-jitsu and simply refuse to let the fight ever leave the feet. Then break every landing record while you're at it. This was the night casual fans finally understood what hardcore fans had been screaming about for years. With Khabib sidelined, Holloway jumped up to 155 to chase a second belt against old rival Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier's already beat him. There's something to be said for confidence. Dustin Poirier knows that he can beat him because he has.
I'll never quit in here. I'll die in here. This is what I do. I live for this.
For interim lightweight gold.
UFC 236, we now know the main event. It's going to be Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 2.
There's a lot of big money fights for him at 55 and a lot of big things. I would love to see him go to 55.
Poirier's power at the higher weight class proved brutal, rocking Holloway early. Max walked forward through the damage with unreal durability, but Poirier's heavier shots earned him a unanimous decision in a Fight of the Year war. None, just two warriors putting on an instant classic. The double champ dreams stalled, but Holloway's chin and heart became the stuff of legend that night.
I learned different tonight, but it is what it is, you know? You win, you learn. And I learned a lot, you know.
We know you will be back. We know you'll be back better than ever.
Nothing quite like a UFC championship main event.
Holloway defended against Frankie Edgar before running into the buzzsaw of Alexander Volkanovski.
And when you're planning to face Max Holloway?
Mate, yes, let's do it, you know what I mean? I'm told that they want to have a card in Australia, Whitaker and Israel Adesanya. I would love to be on that card too. Let's make it happen.
Fight 1. Volkanovski's leg kick game plan disrupted Holloway's rhythm for a decision loss.
Would you consider an instant rematch for him?
Rematch, Australia.
All right, well, there we go.
There you go.
Fight 2. After training an entire camp over Zoom during global lockdowns, an evolved Holloway dropped Volkanovski twice. The judges still gave the rematch to Volkanovski via split decision, a call widely condemned across the sport as flat out wrong.
These guys have fought twice now, 10 rounds, a total of 6 judges, and 5 of them say Volkanovski won. I saw something different. The first time I thought that Max won, and I definitely saw something different tonight. Look, I had it 3 rounds to 2 Max.
Listen, man, you can't leave it. You can't leave it to these guys. We got some bad judging. And I don't know, has Max been in here yet? I'm sure he's devastated and, you know. Yeah.
2 losses on paper, 0 doubt in the gym. Holloway had already shown the world he belonged with the pound-for-pound elite, determined to rebuild.
Who were we going to put out there? How did you arrive at Max Holloway and Calvin Kattar?
Holloway faced elite boxer Calvin Kattar in a fight that became an instant legend.
People think I'm the rookie going into this fight. I'm the elder. If this was high school, I'd be a senior, he'd be a freshman.
Holloway shattered UFC striking records, and by round 5, he was looking away from Kattar directly at the commentary desk, yelling that he was the best boxer in the promotion.
Literally looked at the commentators and cracked Calvin Kattar right in the face without even looking. I have never seen someone reach that level of swag in a fight before. It was amazing.
Oh, he was...
Turn it up! Turn it up! I'm the best boxer you see, baby!
All while slipping punches with pure head movement.
The whole round we saw this. Jab, jab. Right hand lands from Max Holloway.
He took so much fucking punishment in this fight, I'm freaking out.
None, just a performance so absurd, it needed no embellishment. This is the volume striking gospel in its purest form. A man so far ahead of his opponent he had time to talk trash to the broadcast booth mid-fight.
If he is that developed boxer that I'm talking about, he's bringing to the game more than power, more than toughness. He's bringing head movement, He's bringing understanding of distance. He's bringing a plan.
The better boxer, Conor McGregor or Max Holloway?
I think Max Holloway.
Holloway moved back up to lightweight to chase the ceremonial BMF title against Justin Gaethje at UFC 300. Almost every analyst picked against him. At the end of round 1, a perfectly timed spinning back kick shattered Gaethje's nose.
Oh, yeah, right on the nose. Oh, right with the heel. Yep, with the heel right on the face.
From there, Holloway cut angles and outlanded Gaethje for 5 clean rounds. None just Holloway rewriting the ending himself. With the fight already won on the cards, he pointed at the canvas with 10 seconds left, inviting Gaethje to trade. With 1 second on the clock, an overhand right put Gaethje face first into the mat for the most replayed knockout in the sport's history.
La verdad que estoy también súper contento porque acabamos de ver a Holloway ganar, así que acabo de realizar que voy a tener 2 cinturones en vez de 1. Así es. A ver, lo vi bien, nada especial para serte honesto. Al final un juego de intercambio de golpes sin ninguna estrategia por detrás, solamente tirar golpes sin ninguna defensa, las manos abajo y pues eso puede pasar, pero eso nunca sucedería conmigo porque yo soy una persona que piensa dentro del octógono, ¿no? Y él, la verdad que durante toda la semana ha hablado mucho, es lo normal, es lo que tiene que hacer, tiene que hablar, tiene que creerse como que es el mejor, no hay otra forma, ¿no? En este deporte, pero los resultados son claros, lo que no pudo hacer él en 90 minutos yo lo hice en 9, entonces él puede decir lo que quiera, pero que disfrute hoy y se prepare para lo que le viene, aunque puede hacer lo que sea, no va a poder cambiar el resultado.
Yeah, his movement was very, very good, man, and something I wasn't expecting. I think, he was definitely not slow. He was really fast. And yeah, I mean, again, it was just, me expecting something and getting something completely different was, such a testament to his game plan. It was awesome. He really sat back and, didn't get pulled into anything. He was really fast on his exits, and he was very fast when he closed the distance to those strikes. Something that none of us were ready for, and it was good.
Oh my fucking God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
A kid who once feared asking his grandmother for $35 had just delivered the single most iconic finish the UFC has ever seen on his own terms, by choice, with the win already locked up. Think about the sheer confidence required to do that. Most fighters play it safe once the scorecards are in their favor. Holloway threw the scorecards out entirely and decided the ending needed to match the legend. 10 seconds.
Holloway wins the BMF title! Oh my goodness!
1 invitation, 1 second left on the clock. That's not recklessness, that's a man who trusted his own volume so completely he was willing to bet the entire fight on it, for free.
That is exactly what that title is about. Am I right or am I wrong? That's exactly what that title is about. We are BMFs. Let's meet in the center and let's go. And who would have ever bet that Justin Gaethje loses that type of fight? In the center, we're swinging. Who bets that Justin Gaethje loses? No one. I certainly didn't.
With nothing to gain and everything to prove, every other elite striker in this sport hunts for the one perfect shot. Max Holloway never needed that. He builds volume like an avalanche one punch that means nothing on its own, stacked 1,000 times until it means everything. Jaws break. Legends drown, champions run out of air, That's not luck. That's a mindset forged the day a broke teenager got his face kicked in and decided to fall in love with fighting anyway. Look back across this entire timeline and the pattern never changes. Every time Holloway hit a ceiling, Poirier's submission, McGregor's wrestling, a stolen decision against Bermudez, a robbery against Volkanovski, he didn't shrink. He added more volume to the equation, more rounds, more reps, more pressure. The judges could take a decision away from him, but nobody could ever take away the sheer number of punches he was willing to throw to make sure the outcome was never in doubt again. That's the actual secret behind the greatest volume striker the sport has ever produced. It was never really about the punches. It was about never being willing to leave the outcome up for debate. If this breakdown hit different, smash that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive, and drop a comment telling me which Holloway fight you'd want broken down frame by frame next. Blessed era isn't over, and neither is this channel.